The purpose of this video is to make you aware or awake of what is going around you in order to protect yourself, your beloved ones, and humanity. By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe in a very simple way and simple language the purpose of viruses, categories of viruses, how a virus basically enters the cell, categories of vaccines, how a vaccine is basically produced, and what is mRNA technology. Caution: viruses and vaccines are pure biologic studies. They are not medical studies at all. The medical community has not learned virology or viruses, but they've studied very basic microbiology. The medical community are at the tip of the last link in a chain of processes to produce a vaccine. So they receive the product, check the efficacy, approve the product, test in humans, monitor the adverse effects, and continue the drug treatment business. The medical community refuses to acknowledge faults in the vaccination system due to mass misleading information they learned by indoctrination, and so they make assumptions, believe their assumptions, deny the facts, and stray the public. These are the major references used other than microbiology basics. And these are some of the common terminologies used in the field. So a pathogen is a germ, and in our case it's the virus. An antigen is the germ part that triggers an immune response. And host is the living cell, or our cell. A receptor is the binder between the germ and the cell. A genome is the genetic material either of a cell or a microbe, all the information to perform a cycle. In viruses, this cycle is called infectious cycle. A template is a genetic material before replication. An instruction means a messenger RNA, ribonucleic acid. SS and DS means a single strand or double strand, respectively. Biologists estimate 300,000 species of viruses among 1 billion species of organisms in our planet. Only 1.5% are discovered by researchers. Viruses are defined as agents. They are non-living organisms for two reasons. First, they don't have a cell. And second, they don't reproduce, but inside a cell of a living organism. So viruses are at the edge of life. Viruses are everywhere in the land and the sea, in the animal and the plant, in the bacteria and the parasite. Our genome is found to be 42% of the retrovirus sequence. That's how we track our origins and make the human microbiome map. Viruses are being sent as armies to cause adverse effects, but they are also sent for great benefits in the earth. One benefit, as an example, many grasses are occupied by fungi. The fungi are infected by viruses. When viruses are removed from the fungi die. When fungi are removed from the grass dies at lower temperature. So it is the virus that makes the grass live at relatively high temperatures. Viruses mutate by reaction as any organism in order to adapt to the environment. So viruses are not to hurt such organisms, which they somehow need them to survive. All organisms with genomes are continuously mutating in order to adapt with the overall environmental conditions. Humans and animals mutate. Bacteria mutate frequently because they have a single cell. Viruses mutate more frequently, per month or even per week, because they have no cells and they are mostly RNA-based. Every air we breathe and every food we eat has bacteria. Most of the bacteria are infected with viruses. So all of us are infected by at least 200 types of viruses that we became asymptomatic by time. For every new virus we gain without knowing about such infections. It's all about our immune system. Without the immune system, every single organ will be exposed to hundreds of infections, expecting minutes to the specified term in life. So, you get millions of viruses in a breath, but whether you are symptomatic or not, once infected, it's for life. Remember, once infected, it's for life. Vaccines neither stop a virus' existence in a body, nor it stops transmission in our planet. But viruses will adapt to vaccines and will even mutate more frequently to survive. Vaccines don't protect you with an antibody triggering function, the way it is explained. Why? First, children who are less than 7 years old don't produce antibodies yet. And second, vaccinated people, less than 10% of them don't even develop antibodies at all. So how do they survive? Let's be honest. It's all about our immune system's 3 lines of defense. It's all about our immune system. So, how a virus looks like. As you can see here, a virus consists of a genome, which is a genetic polymeric nucleic acid, either in a single chain, which is called RNA, or in dual chain called DNA. The genome is surrounded by a capsid, which is a protein shell, to protect and transport the genome. And it consists of capsomers, that is, chain of protomers. In addition, some viruses are surrounded by an envelope. That is a protein coat, which consists of phospholipid layers and glycoproteins. The virus surface has receptors, which are some specific proteins. And those receptors are used to attach with a host cell.
Eventually, we need to ask the superstars how a virus is alive, and how it sleeps in the surface for hours, and how can we kill a dead virus. Ask the superstars how did they discover that a pre-known virus 50 years ago, among millions of undiscovered viruses, became fatal today. Ask the superstars how a mask of 10 cents shall protect you from a specific virus that infects millions of bacteria that we breathe all the day. Or was it made for surgeons to avoid interaction with patients, including caps, eyewear, gloves, and gowns? Ask the superstars how vaccines protect people without antibodies, like children less than 7 years old and 10% of normal people. Ask the superstars why do you vaccinate children and interfere their brain and immune system that are still under learning process. Ask the superstars what is the need to vaccinate people who don't even produce antibodies. Ask the superstars why the vaccine safety is regulated by the medical governmental authorities rather than being a biologic authority. Ask the superstars. Tremendous number of questions are there.